We're going to talk about, is it safe in Mexico? What does it cost to live in Mexico? And how do you choose a destination in the world that you would like to retire in? Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown's Travels. And today what we're going to do an interview. I have over here, I have Stephanie and Frank Brown, and they have chosen Mexico to set up their home base. And we're just going to ask them some questions about how come they've chose Mexico. I've got my notes right here, so I'm going to be reading some notes here. Now, talking with them earlier, we discussed they're from California. They've traveled around the world. They've been all over the world, and so they have a lot of experience in traveling. They've been to places where expats like to locate, where it's a cheaper way of living. They've been to Panama, they've been to Costa Rica, they've been to Puerto Rico, they've been to El Salvador, they've been to Nicaragua, they've even been to Cuba. Not that they want to live there, but that's what they, tell me, and also through Europe and places like that. So right now I asked Frank, hey Frank, what, traveling around the world and stuff like that, how did you choose Mexico?
Well, after traveling around the world, and then I must say that me and my wife, we really enjoy the beach communities. And so we kind of funneled in on that. And we went to the Caribbean, the Mayan Riviera, and as you expressed, the other places. And we find it when you look at the total picture, Puerto Vallarta, and north of there, all the way an hour north of there, there's many little small town beach communities, and they're beautiful beaches, and the accommodations and the value seems to be the best of all the other areas that we traveled.
Okay, so right now we're in the Puerto Vallarta area, okay, and I know we're north of Puerto Vallarta. Tell us, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about the town here, the village, and why you like it.
Lo de Marcos is where we stay, and it's a small village. It's probably about 45 minutes outside of the Puerto Vallarta airport. It's very authentic, which I like. We have cowboys that ride their horses in the town square and through the village in the evenings, and they're training their horses on the beach during the day. It's a very walkable beach, palm trees all around. I love the authenticity of this village.
Okay. Now, Frank, in doing your research, and how did you choose this particular area as a home base? What was it that, drew you here? Why do you like this versus, inland Mexico?
Well, I must admit that I'm a little prejudiced for the beach end of it, but I must admit that one of the better places I've been was in the Lake Chapala area, but the people, the individuals that are living there, the expats, seem to be very broad-minded individuals, as well as if you tend to get off the beaten path in smaller towns, the expats seem to be very interesting and broad-minded individuals. And why we selected this area, again, most of all because of the beaches and the beautiful backdrop of the jungles and the value of the accommodations and the Mexican people in the smaller towns are very personable, and you find out that it's like you're living there and you're not really a tourist.
I see. Okay. Well, Stephanie, as a woman, from a woman's point of view, this is really important because, around the world we've heard about how terrible Mexico is, that it's not safe, that, you have to lock your house, you have to lock your doors. You just can't live here, they're just afraid. But Stephanie, from a woman's point of view especially, what do you think about that? You're down here living.
I feel very safe in Mexico, just like in the United States. There's places that you don't go, and a woman wouldn't go by herself, and those are the things I wouldn't do here in Mexico. But I can walk down the streets in the evening and feel very safe. I just don't have any fear at all.
Okay, so some of the stories then in traveling around Mexico and stuff like that, when you talk to other women, do they have that same type of sentiment that you do, that it's safe down here?
any of the women that I associate with feel very safe. I mean, I wouldn't come down here if I didn't feel safe.
Okay.
You know, so I think that there's just, I think that people hear a lot of stories that may be true in some places, but the places that we've always traveled, I have always felt very comfortable.
Good, good. That's good to know. So that maybe helps to dismiss some of the, things that are being told, about Mexico and how bad it is. Now, Frank, what about, for you guys, let's say like shopping, going, worried about food and buying things? Is it very difficult to get things here in Mexico that you're used to back in California?
Most places in Mexico, if you have some type of a large city, Puerto Vallarta, or let's say Cancun, or Playa del Carmen on the Mayan Riviera, they'll always usually have large stores, and you can find anything there that you should be able to find in the States. And the values there. In transportation in our area, we just, there's a local bus that goes to Puerto Vallarta, and they leave approximately every hour on the hour, and it takes approximately 45 minutes to get to Walmart's or different
Costco.
larger Costco, or just larger stores, and then we just pick up our things that we normally we could get in the village, but it might be something that we don't normally use, and we want to buy it in bulk.
I see. Okay, so those bigger department stores or stores like Costco and stuff, you can get those in.
Yes.
Now, Stephanie, this is always a concern. How about medical care? This is very important, to people. To you feel safe in the company, but what about the medical care? Do you feel safe with that?
Very much so. We do have a dentist here in our little village that we stay in, and I go to him. We have a doctor here in town. I actually fell down the stairs at our house this time and thought that I fractured my arm, but I didn't. And Frank took me to the hospital over the next town over. It's about 20 minutes from here, and I had x-rays there and saw a doctor, and everything was fine. So, I feel that we have got, anything medical. I mean, if there was a big emergency, I probably would want to go back to the States, but for just average things, I feel comfortable here with the doctors.
Oh, okay. So you feel comfortable. That's great. Now, Frank, what about this? What about social things? What do you do for social things here? It's a small village here, and you've showed me some of your artwork. You're an artist, What do you guys do for social? What about interacting with other, other fellow travelers and people that live around the world like you guys do?
Well, in this area here in Puerto Vallarta, as well as most of the towns that we end up going to, on usually weekends, they will usually have a band playing, a Mexican band, and they rotate from town to town. And that's part of the social situation. But you find it that most communities we go into, there's a lot of good musicians that may play at the restaurants or play in the square. And so the entertainment in that respect, we don't lack entertainment. In fact, as we tend to go out more here than we do in the United States.
Oh, okay. Now, Stephanie, this is really important. This is probably when it borrows, gets down to the bottom line. We all want to know how expensive is it to live here. What is your monthly expense, that your rent, your food, all of the stuff that, it takes to live here?
Okay, we spend $600 a month for our home, and that is a 2-bedroom home. We're oceanfront. All of the utilities are included in it. But we do have friends that pay $250 a month for a home, and it's not on the beach, it's farther back in the village. And then we have friends who own $300,000 houses here, so you've got many ranges that, whatever you are comfortable with, I think that you can find it inside of this village. And I would say our total cost for a month is probably $1,300 to $1,400. Now, that's not saying that we go to big expensive restaurants, because we don't go into the city to do that. We prefer staying in the village, but there are very good restaurants here, and we don't I don't think that we lack for entertainment.
Okay. So what I understand you're saying is that a person could come down, or a couple like you, say $1,300 a month, and if two couples maybe combine their Social Security, maybe some people can do it on one Social Security, but so in other words, it sounds like you guys are able to live down here on your Social Security. And
Oh,
that-
definitely, yes.
Well, that's great. So you can live off your Social Security. Well, Frank and Stephanie, I want to thank you for this interview. This has been great, information that you're giving all of us. Well, this has been Jerry Brown with Jerry Brown Travels. If you like this video, how about a subscription and follow us as we talk to other expats around the world. Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travel. What is this thing going on right here? Please subscribe. Please subscribe.